Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So recently, the trailer for the movie Black Panther was released, and a lot of people are excited. I'm excited. Many in the black community are excited to finally see this superhero brought to the big screen. The trailer looks exciting. It's awesome, to sum it up in a word, and I can't wait to see it. The film comes out in February of next year. I'm going to be one of the first people in line to see that movie. I look forward to seeing it. While many in the black community are celebrating the release of this film, they're excited about this trailer, there are some people, some ignorant, racist white people, who view this film as too black. They call it too black because the cast is overwhelmingly black. They call it too black because it's rooted in Africa. That's where the story takes place. They are also calling the film too militant. And they're calling it that because they are trying to draw comparisons between the artwork that was released for the film and an old photograph of Black Panther leader Huey P. Newton. So the photograph that was released for the film Black Panther features the lead character sitting on a throne of power, looking regal, looking strong, looking bold. And they're trying to compare that to the photograph of Huey P. Newton, a real-life superhero, a brother who stood up for his people, a brother who faced the police, who fought against police brutality, who fought against poverty and hunger, a bold, courageous black man. You all remember the iconic photograph of this brother, where he's sitting in a chair like a throne. He has one hand on a rifle and the other hand on a spear. Looking strong, looking regal, presenting a bold image of what a black man is. So people are drawing comparisons. They're again saying that this film is too black and too militant. And in response to that, I say too bad. Who cares? We need positive images like this. And I couldn't care less about these white racists and their white tears. I plan to support this film, and I encourage you all to support this film. This whole talk about this film being too black and too militant, it reminds me of Malcolm X's famous speech, Message to the Grassroots, when he talked about the analogy of coffee being too black, which means it's too strong. He talked about how because it's too black and too strong, they try to integrate it with cream so that it will be weak. It used to wake you up and then it puts you to sleep when they put all that cream in it. That's what the brother Malcolm X talked about. And the same is true here. They want to water this down. They don't like to see an all-black cast. They don't like to see all black positive images. They don't like the idea of black superheroes. They hate the idea of a strong black man being presented on screen for people to look up to, for people to admire. Even though this is a story that's fictional, they can't even deal with black people imagining black greatness because these people suffer from a God complex. The Last Poets had a song called The White Man Has a God Complex. They released that song in the 60s or 70s, and still today this white man has a God complex. And he hates anything positive that challenges that God complex. He hates it. Anything that's critical of this white man, these racists condemn it. And this film is not even dealing with the white man from what I understand. But here you have these people criticizing it. When these people, dominate the imagery that we see. They dominate it and they present this message of white supremacy. From the day we are born to the day we die, the popular media promotes this myth of white supremacy. It's not only the media. When you go into your church, they give you a white Jesus to worship. They give you white prophets to honor. They give you white angels to look up to. That's the ultimate form of white supremacy. And when you go to the movies, looking to hear a story or watch a story about a great hero saving the day, saving people, being courageous, being strong and powerful. When you go to those movies, 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10, the image is a white image, a white man put in that courageous, strong position. Every now and then they'll throw in a black person here and there. And half of the time, that black person is the help. Half of the time, that black person is the sidekick. Half of the time, that black person is the Tonto or the or Robin, somebody that plays that second fiddle position. And it's been like that for a long time. When I was a kid, they had the story of Black Panther. They had Luke Cage. They had those stories. But those heroes were pushed to the margins. And the white heroes took center stage. So it was the white heroes that we were taught to look up to and admire. Imagine the damage that does to a young boy's psyche to look upon his oppressor as a hero. To look upon these white men as great. And then when you go to the movies to watch something about yourself, to see a black image, or when you turn on the music to hear some message from your own people, too often it's a negative image and a negative message that is presented. Too often the image that you see is a thug. The image that you see is a drug dealer. The image that you see is a pimp. The image that you see of the women are prostitutes and vixens. That's the image that you're confronted with. And when you have that kind of negative programming, it teaches you that black is inferior and white is superior. That's what it teaches you. So that's what we live with, man. That's the world in which we live. And that's why these images are so important. I understand that some people are like, well, that's just a superhero character. Why are you so concerned about that? Because these images, these films shape our consciousness. That's why it matters. I mean, we all are familiar with the story of the test that was done to the children, where they presented them with black and white dolls, where the black children were looking to the white doll as being the beautiful doll, as being the good doll, as being the intelligent one. And they looked upon the doll that was black, like them, as negative, as bad. And that's a result of that programming, where we've been taught to idolize these white people. So these people are upset to see these strong black images. These black heroes are important because they give our people self-esteem. That's one aspect in this fight against white supremacy. I mean, to fight that ideology, you need imagery, not just rhetoric, not just people talking. You need images that promote positive messages. You need images of a strong black man presented, of a courageous black man presented, instead of the image of the black man as a thug, instead of the image of the black man as a sex-crazed animal. We need positive images. And these same people that are criticizing the Black Panther movie are the same people who criticized Luke Cage. They're the same people who criticized the Star Wars movie simply because it had a black face in it. These people don't want to see any positive images of our people. It's important for our young people to be able to look up to black heroes, both real and imaginary, fantasy type of heroes. Because all of that shapes the consciousness of the people. There was a time when we couldn't even imagine a black president. That was unimaginable. You know, the idea of a black man sitting in the White House was unimaginable. And before there was the election of Barack Obama, before that election, we had movies that presented the image of a black president. So those movies got people accustomed to the idea of seeing a black president. It shaped the consciousness of the people. So we were finally able to elect a black president. And regardless of the politics, I know some people got all this stuff to say, all these reasons to criticize Obama and blah, blah, blah. These people have everything to say about this brother. But one thing they can't say about that brother, they can't say that he presented a bad image for black people. Here you had a nuclear family, a solid family, a strong, intelligent black couple reaching the heights of political success, showing what a strong family looks like, showing what success looks like, showing what intelligence looks like, showing what it means to have power and to govern. That has helped inspire a lot of our people. A real life person that somebody can look up to as an example of what it means to be successful, as an example of new possibilities in this world. So that was important to see a black president. And I know that a comic book character can't be put on that level, but I think that it's important to have these kind of images. Images that promote positivity, you know, positive images of black people. You know, these people are complaining about a black superhero. But I didn't hear these people complain about Wonder Woman, a hero that's a woman, you know, presenting a powerful image and powerful messaging for women. But here you are, a black, you know, here we are. One of the few films that features a black hero, you had these white racist crybabies complaining. They want to stomp out everything. They want to completely dominate everything. So again, you know, I support this film, you know, because I think that it's going to present powerful images that our people need to see, that America needs to see, that the world needs to see, instead of all these negative images, you know, all these negative messages. The message of the black man as a drug dealer, as a drug addict, as an idiot, a buffoon, a minstrel. So yeah, I'm just glad that this movie is coming out. And another thing that I want to talk about with respect to this film is the positive image that it presents of an African country. Even though this is an imaginary country that doesn't exist in the real world, you know, it still presents a positive image of black people because this country is supposed to be technologically advanced. You know, you have a powerful society that's, you know, advanced and prosperous, a society that hasn't been colonized by Europeans and stuff like that. That is powerful because it gives us, you know, an image of what things can be like, possibly. You know, these films are not just, you know, films for the sake of entertainment. You know, myths in society serve purposes. You know, whether it's a story of superheroes or, you know, various mythologies and stuff like that. Those things are very important in terms of shaping national consciousness. So these positive images of Africa are great because for the longest time, the images that we have received about Africa have been negative. They have depicted Africa as the dark continent, as a place that's uncivilized, as a place that's filled with nothing but poverty and savagery. That's the image of Africa that we're constantly presented with. And it's great to see a film that tries to present some kind of positive image of black people, of African people. So I'm going to support this film. I'm going to support it because of the positive imagery, because it's about a black superhero. I'm going to support it because by supporting this film, we're making our voices heard We're telling Hollywood that we support positive films about black people. When we tell Hollywood that with our dollars, there will be more films like this. When they know that there's a market for black superheroes, for positive black stories, they will fund those stories, if for no other reason than for money's sake. They will perhaps fund more black projects. And by supporting this film, we're supporting black actors, we're supporting a black director, and that's something that we need to do.